Alright, how's it going, guys? A couple over here. In today's video, I'm doing my first ever review on this channel. I'm doing it over episode 1 of the book of Boba Fett. I've always wanted to do a series like this, or like a video like this for movies or TV shows, but I never really have. So I'm going to try it out on the channel, see how it goes. I've always wanted to do it, like I said, but nothing has really given me, like, the drive to do it until now, because if you read the title already, the book of Boba Fett, episode 1, was awful, in my opinion. Obviously, you can like it however you want. Don't let this influence you. I'm still going to watch the rest of the series because hopefully it'll get better. Boba Fett's always been one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, even as a kid. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to cover is the one thing that I liked about episode 1. I like how they tied up a lot of loose ends in what felt like 5 minutes. You know, oh yeah, sorry, I should mention this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you really don't want to spoil episode 1, even though there's nothing to spoil, probably don't watch this video. But anyway, they tie up loose ends super quickly, which is awesome. I think that within the first 5 minutes, them tying up the fact, or like showing how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, or like what's he up to immediately after, was really nice. I felt like they could have lingered on that a lot longer, and that would have been kind of annoying. So I'm glad they did that. But other than that, that's the only thing I really have to say about it. CGI was cool. But the first thing I want to go over is, in the first episode, the fact that nothing happens, and that's a pretty broad statement because there didn't feel like any plot points that happened. I like the idea of him flashing back occasionally while also working in his current life, like how when he goes in the back to tank, it's flashbacks to what happened to you to that point. I think that's really cool. I think there's a lot of potential in that idea. I think it's just done so poorly. It felt like half the episode was him walking in a desert doing tasks that had nothing to do with anything. Him being dragged around by the kid Tusken Raider, like to dig up water, that was whatever. Obviously, that point was led into the big battle, which we'll get to later. But yeah, it just felt like there wasn't a whole lot of action or like Boba Fetting going on, or like you'd think the baddest bounty hunter in all that universe would have a little more like spunk to him, or a little bit more. How do I put it? Like action following him. But he really doesn't, and that's just kind of weird to me. Another thing that happened was I think the acting was pretty bad from the actor that played Boba Fett himself. I'm going to look it up here. Boba actor. Mr. Morrison. I just think the parts that were like supposed to be witty were not funny at all. None of the jokes hit. I don't really think it's like a series like The Mandalorian where you can like sneak the occasional like witty joke in there, because this dude's like super serious. Because I think in Mandalorian when they do it, they've established him already to be this like super cool killer and whatnot. I probably should not be saying whatnot in a review, but anyway. Yeah, he's already an established character by the time they're making those jokes. Whereas Boba Fett episode 1, you're just kind of throwing this guy in here that we haven't seen in 20 years and trying to make him funny. Like, the only thing we knew about him was he was Darth Vader's accomplice. He was really good at his job, and he was really cool looking. And I feel like none of those aspects have shined yet in the series through episode 1. The scenes that were supposed to be cool, like in the end where he's like faded away after he killed the monster and he's like standing all proud in the Tatooine background, and that was just, I don't know if anybody else thought that. I thought that was lame. I thought it was cringe. Like it physically hurt because I don't know what it was about it, whether it was just the events leading up to the end of that episode or whatever. It was just not well done and did not look cool. I thought the writing itself was not the greatest. I think I'm going to say that out of all the shows I've watched, Marvel and Star Wars and all those that Disney Plus has produced, this is probably the worst one to start. Obviously, we don't have the full series finished yet, so I'm not going to place it that way. But to start, this is just the worst. The parts I also don't understand is how he has this like a master assassin with him that we saw in Mandalorian, and I think that was a really cool idea. Like a dynamic duo that could both like super lethal and super cool fights and super cool killers. Okay, enough on that point. They lost in that shield scene. It was just not very well done. It didn't feel super fast paced or cool. The shield guys weren't cool. They were kind of lame, I thought. And Boba Fett just got beat up this entire episode. Whether the shield fight or the big monster fight at the end. And it's just like, for a guy that's supposed to be super powerful and super strong and super good at what he does, we just see him getting tossed like a rag doll a lot. And that to me is kind of weird. But I don't know. This is not what I expected from the series. I also don't know. A point I know they're going to develop and move on is why, after getting out of the Sarlacc pit, he just becomes like this super tame dude that just wants to rule Tatooine with respect and not power. It's like, it's like Jabba's dead. He's taking over Tatooine. I think that's cool. There could be a lot of potential here. It could be like him going back with the Empire and fighting them. Because, like, he doesn't work for the Empire. He's just a bounty hunter. So whoever pays him more gets his service. And it just happened to be the Empire at the time. But maybe there could be this whole plot point about, like, him getting revenge for what they made him do. Or something like that. But instead, it's just this. He's walking around town. And okay, sorry, hold on. I won't get off track yet. He's walking around town, trying to get all these people with, like, friendship and stuff. He's not trying to get these displays of power like Jabba had, whether it be getting carted around town, or killing people because their tributes aren't good enough. But it's just weird. You don't think somebody that's the super cool Mandalorian bounty hunter, Boba Fett, would be doing that. You think he'd be out for revenge or murdering everybody he sees. So I'm really interested to see how they develop that point, and they're probably going to do that with the flashbacks. Another point, the walking scenes are way too long. They lasted way too long. Like when he first got picked up by the Tusken Raiders after the Jawa stripped him of his armor, and that he's going to the Tusken Raider camp. That lasted like 4 minutes of him just getting dragged through the dirt and whatnot, or the sand. And you got by the first minute of the point, like, he's having a rough outing. Clearly, he's not who he was. He's not feeling well. He doesn't have all his power. He's hurt. We get that point within like the first 10 minutes of the show, but they just hammer the nail into the coffin and like try to drive that point home all episode, even though anybody who's anybody can get the point. Like, he's clearly beaten up. The monster at the end was pretty cool. I don't know what it's called because I'm not that cuckoo canonic or about like lore or whatnot. But yeah, that was pretty sweet. There's just not much to say about it. It wasn't the most exciting fight. It was there. I don't know how it made him super cool to the Tusken Raiders, but yeah, that worked. It's also hard with the Tusken Raiders being so prominent in the first episode and them not speaking like English. It also makes it hard to be like really connect with anything or like hate them, because obviously they beat them up while he's tied to the post. So that's awful. But other than that, you can't really get a sense of what they are, how bad they are, like we did in the original trilogies. Where, Anakin's mom is tortured, killed, murdered by the Tusken Raiders, and that's awful. And we see how like bad they are in that way, because that's a big plot point. But in Boba Fett, it's just like they're taking him to the camp, which is awful, and they're clearly like abusing him, not treating him right, which makes us hate him a little bit. But just, I don't know, just the fact that there wasn't a lot of like dialogue in the show in episode 1, and the stuff that there was not awesome or not good. I don't know why I used awesome there. That was weird. But yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I'm trying to. I covered all the points that I have on my list here. Is there anything else? I guess that's gonna be it for now. Just my mini rant about why I thought Book of Fett episode 1 was awful. Like I said, I'm hopeful that the series will get better, or like I don't know. I'm not super optimistic about it, but I hope it does. If you enjoyed, let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts? Do you think you disagree? If there's anywhere that I could have, or like any 2 points or a point I'm missing that I haven't seen yet, please let me know, because I do want to enjoy this series. Boba Fett has always been one of the coolest characters in my opinion. I think if done well, he could be super cool. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on what I think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.